The girl behind the veil. I still remember the way the village fell silent that day. All eyes were on her, the girl with the veil. For years, people had whispered about her, laughed at her, and called her names. But none of us truly knew who she was until that moment. Her name was Amina, and she had lived on the edge of our village for as long as I could remember. She always wore a long scarf that covered her face, leaving only her eyes visible. No one knew why. Some said she had a scar. Others claimed she was cursed. A few said she was just trying to get attention. "Why does she hide her face?" the children would ask, their laughter echoing through the streets. "Because it's too ugly to show," the older ones would reply, grinning. I didn't laugh with them, but I never stood up for her either. She didn't bother anyone. She came to the market, bought what she needed, and left quickly. But in a small village like ours, even that made her stand out. One year, during the harvest festival, the chief made an announcement. "This year, we will hold a contest," he said. "The most beautiful girl in the village will receive a gift, a golden necklace, crafted by the finest hands." Excitement buzzed through the crowd. Every girl began preparing. Hair was braided, skin polished with shea butter, and the finest dresses were sewn. Everyone wanted to win, and why not? The necklace wasn't just beautiful, it was a symbol of pride. On the day of the festival, the village square was packed. One by one, the girls stepped forward. There was Fatima, with her long, shining braids. Miriam, whose smile could light up a room. Adama, with her smooth, dark skin that seemed to glow in the sunlight. The crowd cheered for each of them. Then, to everyone's surprise, Amina stepped forward. She was wearing her usual scarf, the one that covered her face. The crowd began to murmur. "What is she doing here?" someone whispered. "Does she really think she can win?" Another scoffed. The chief raised his hand, calling for silence. "Amina, do you wish to compete?" he asked. "Yes," she said softly, her voice steady. "Then you must remove your veil," the chief said. "We cannot judge what we cannot see." The crowd held its breath. Amina's hands went to the scarf, untying it slowly. When she pulled it away, there was a gasp. Her face was radiant, her features delicate and flawless. Her skin was smooth, her eyes deep and bright, and her smile, it was the kind of smile that made you feel warm inside. No one spoke. The same people who had mocked her for years now stared in awe. Fatima, one of the other contestants, broke the silence. "This isn't fair," she said, her voice trembling. "She hid her face all this time just to surprise us." Amina looked at her, calm and unshaken. "I never claimed to be ugly," she said. "You assumed that because of my veil. You judged me without knowing me." The chief stood, his voice clear and firm. "Amina has taught us an important lesson today," he said. "True beauty does not need to be loud. It does not need to seek attention. Sometimes it is hidden, waiting for the right moment to shine. Let us remember this before we judge anyone again." He placed the golden necklace around Amina's neck, and for the first time, she smiled fully. But she didn't linger in the square. She walked away, her head held high, leaving the crowd to reflect on their actions. From that day on, the whispers about Amina stopped. People no longer mocked her or avoided her. They greeted her with respect. And me? I learned that what we assume about someone is often far from the truth. Amina wasn't just beautiful because of her face. She was beautiful because of her strength, her patience, and her quiet dignity. The girl behind the veil had taught us all a lesson we would never forget.